Welcome, everyone. Cool show we have set up today. First off, of course, we are going to talk about Diddy. We are going to talk about that video and just the future of what he holds. Then we have Mr. Raul Saenz jumping into inside the Coliseum to talk basketball. We'll see what he thinks is going to happen in the few weeks here on who's going to be crowned the NBA champion. Then we'll get some reaction videos. Let's go. Diddy, back at it again. Video is out. So for the people that didn't believe that Diddy was up to something, it's definitely the proof is out there. And horrible, horrible video of him pretty much dragging Cassie all over the place, throwing stuff at her. And I mean, it's a lot of people are saying it's over. His career's over. There's nothing he's going to be able to do to get out of it. But I mean, ultimately, it's Diddy, man. It's Diddy. So I don't. I'm not too confident that his this career is over. I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. Okay, and the conspiracies is he's an informant. He does this. I mean, he's been involved in a lot of things. He might have certain videos of politicians, of higher ups. I mean, stuff that's we can't even imagine sends the whole FBI raid or Homeland Security raids and all that. They say it's because he does have power over certain people. That's why he's free. As I mean, dude's not arrested. I mean, he's not going to be arrested because he settled with Cassie either way. So if he gets arrested, it's not going to be for this video. Now, does it affect the business? Of course it does. You know, a lot of people are going to shy away. That's why nobody's coming out to defend him. I mean, I think Cameron was on CNN or somebody. I didn't really see the story, but I think he got into an altercation. I don't even know if he was defending him, but I haven't seen anybody come out and like, oh, he's innocent, because I think deep down everybody knew it was happening, not the public, but inner circles and certain things. But the thing is, you go back now there's all these videos of people going back and like seeing certain videos on making the band on MTV, and it's like, dude, this guy's been wilding out. Now the videos that kind of like I was like, wow, was the Justin Bieber one. So on that one is it does not look good, and I kind of, and just the fact on how Justin Bieber is now, and I mean that we can just speculate because we don't know what's going on. We could just go based on what do we see, right? And you don't never want to backtalk anybody because we don't know. But just in my opinion, based on what I've seen, I mean that video where he looks like he's hooking up with Beckham, and I mean with Odell Beckham, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know. We can only hope that if there's evil out there, we want it to be destroyed, of course. But I mean, there was videos all along that showed Diddy, not being the most best best at least with other people. So I mean, I don't know. Well, I just wanted to give my take on that, and I want to hear what you guys think because I mean, videos like this where Cassie's like hiding on a blanket, and it's just certain things that is like, wow, the poor girl, you feel bad. Um, Other things I wanted to touch on, of course, the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs are here. I actually had a conversation with one of my boys, Raul. I got on Zoom with him, and we just talked. We just talked basketball, man. I can't talk basketball anymore with anybody. Nobody really pays attention to it like in depth. So here's an interview I did with Raul, and it's a segment called "Inside the Coliseum." Let's go. Welcome everybody to Inside the Coliseum. It's been a while, but we're back, and we're back with some basketball. All right. So for basketball, I love basketball. It's up there with football. So I have to talk about it, especially so late into the series. I mean, it's already conference finals. So I had to call in one of my buddies. I had to call in Mr. Raul Science. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's going on, y'all? Hey,
So I know you've been coaching basketball for a while, dude. You've been playing basketball since I've known you, and we were kids. We go back to high school. So
yeah,
What do you think of the series going on right now, bro? I mean, before there was that time where the NBA just kind of felt like it was falling off. There was fouls everywhere, the whole refs being corrupted, and now I feel like we have future stars on the rise. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah,
starting west, right? We'll start with Luca going up with OKC. OKC's filled with young stars, brother.
no yeah.
How do you think the season the series played out? You think you knew Dallas was gonna win it, or did you think OKC could probably come out of nowhere?
You know what, man? Being real, I was a little skeptical of OKC kind of from the get-go. I mean, NBA is a long season, and they did their thing the whole time, and I just think it's a little hard to really put a lot of faith in a lot of youngsters like that. You know what I mean? I mean, hey, they got talent left and right, but really believing that a team that is that young, regardless of the talent, is going to be able to put it together as well as they did. And you know what? They absolutely did. So my hat's off to him, man. A lot of credit and a lot of props to what OKC was able to accomplish, especially coming down the final stretch of the season. The regular season. I mean, there was a tight race there between the Thunder and the Nuggets and the Wolves, and I was following it like crazy because for me personally, I love basketball. The NBA is great, uh, but it's kind of hard to keep up with it for as long as the
Oh
season
yeah.
goes. And even on my part, and I'm a Suns fan, and so I follow the West, and just kind of like I said, seeing that stretch down the end there, where I was wondering if my guys were going to be able to make that 60. But then you see how crazy it is that these dudes are within a game or half a game. It's like wow. And then of all people, you end up seeing the Thunder come out of it number one. I'm like wow, like that's wild. So you know what? I give them a lot of credit. Now I love to be, and this kind of stems back from one of my connections to one of my old players, actually, when I coached at Austin High School. I love
Mhm.
to be a Mavs hater because he was the biggest Luca and the biggest Mavs fan, and so that made it a little bit more fun because he and I we're going back and forth texting about it and stuff. But the Mavs, they're just dangerous, man, and we can talk about Kyrie and how injuries, come into play with that guy. But when he's on, my gosh, he's amazing. And then on top of that, you got Luka Doncic that he's changing the game. You've been seeing this kid tear it up professionally since he was 16 years old, playing for his home
Yeah.
country, playing against these NBA stars and doing his thing.
Hmm.
So as much as I want to be a Mavs hater, I really did see them making a run. They struggled throughout the season. People kind of had their doubts about them. Mavs fans were kind of like, well, we'll get in there. We'll get out the first round and be done. But all they needed to do was pick up on it a little bit. That fire to be lit just a tad, and there they go. So um, I was shocked that so going back to that matchup, I was shocked that the Thunder came out as strong as they did.
Hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of people were thinking, hey, it's done. Like they're taking it, but you can't count the Mavs out. And sure enough, look at what they did, man. They were relentless, and they came back and they played amazing basketball. And there they go.
Well, I think that like the huge part, bro, and because like you hit it right on the money, right? Kyrie, he's always fucking injured. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So right now he's there, he's 100%, and I think he kind of I saw him throughout the series, and I think he had like not he didn't average more than like 15 points, I don't think, in at
No,
least two games. So I think he was reserving himself a little bit more for the final stretch. So that was
right.
good to see. And then just Luca evolving, dude, to those moments where sometimes he would go for it, he wouldn't make it. And now those moments are, like you can see he's putting
Hmm.
in the hard work.
Right.
So I mean, I'm excited for the Mavs, dude. I hate Dallas just because of Cowboys, and but I mean it's hard not to like that team.
Right.
And I think having Kyrie pushed him over the edge because he gave him that edge, that experience, that championship
Right.
experience. So okay, got the Mavs moving forward. They're definitely going against another powerhouse. So I mean, the Wolves out of nowhere, bro. I don't think if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said first round. and they're out. But nah, dude, Anthony Edwards is at a he's brought that team together, bro, and you can just see it. You can just see like that team special, and they have that special
Oh yeah.
player. And I'm happy to see it, bro. I'm happy to see it. Between that series, what do the Mavs got to do to stop Anthony Edwards, bro?
You know what? In my opinion, I kind of saw. I think we saw a little glimpse of any. Well, yesterday, if anybody caught that game seven between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, it really seemed. I mean, you look at it. If I'm not mistaken, he had 4 points entering the second quarter or through the second quarter at halftime. He kind of picked it up a little bit, in that second half, but they really did apply a lot of pressure. He wasn't getting a ton of help from the get go, and he felt like he needed to do it all. I mean, if you look, he was 3 for 13 after, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, halftime. If I was looking at some stats on it, and I even saw like an Instagram reel, and he was even like, "Damn, like that's trash." Like him talking on himself. So I think they really need to make him feel like he needs to do a whole lot, and that's where the defensive end comes with it. And I think the Mavs have a lot. I think they can play some damn good defense. Um, but the thing is, they really are going to have to spread it around because yeah, you got to put Anthony Edwards in a pressured place because when you think about it, he's still young. He's a young cat, and not to say that they can't get it done, but when it comes down to it, realistically, your experienced players, these guys are all professional, but these guys that have been in that prime time, that crunch time, and they really need to come through are the ones that do. I think we can kind of just say that historically. So you really got to make him make feel a little bit uncomfortable, but still want to make every shot that he needs to get his team out of it. Um, and with that being so, I think that takes care of Anthony Edwards. But with that being said, you still got some guys that can play out there, man. Like, Carl Anthony Towns. I mean, with the exception of getting into some foul trouble yesterday, he did his thing. He really
Yeah.
did. He did pretty well in there inside. And, I'm a fan of his. Like, I mean, he is a great player. So I think you gotta piece it up in different places. You got to get those big guys to be physical and make these guys take them out of their game a little bit. Shut down some of the guard play. You had Mike Conley coming out and doing his thing at the point guard position, which
Huge,
that guy,
huge.
yeah,
Mhm.
man. I mean, he's that's a seasoned vet right there. Like he did his
Yeah.
thing, and so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and realistically, I am pulling for the Mavs on it. Um, but they're gonna have to put a few things into play in order to get these guys to fall into where they are not going to produce too well. Because you saw it early on, they were down 20. I think it was 58-38, man. Little by little, they started to wake up different areas. They were doing their thing. They had Jokic shooting all these damn threes. We went like 0 for 7 at one point, and they
Mhm.
capitalized on the other end of the floor. They were pushing the ball, they were finishing. They got some guys that hit a few shots, and so it's going to have to be extending that over time because we saw that they got shut down for a little bit, but you're going to have to do more because if you don't turn that defense on long enough, they can come back from 20 down. I think that was one of the biggest deficits in a game seven of the playoffs in a long time. Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
so yeah, I think the Mavs are just really going to have to do their thing on defense and be consistent on offense.
No, I totally agree, dude. And I mean, they're one of those teams that they are playing defense. Now
Yeah,
in the NBA, it's people laugh. They talk about, oh, they don't play defense. Used to be crazy in the '90s, whatever. But
right,
yeah, I mean, you see him want to take the best player, bro, and that's what we want to see from our superstars. That's why
right.
I like the kid, bro. I think he's my favorite player to watch right now, just because he's got that attitude. And I mean, that's what we all want. And in the Kobe's and the Jordans. And I see that in a lot of young players, including Mr. Jason Tatum. Okay. So Celtics blew past the Cavs, bro. Out of,
Oh yeah,
we knew they were.
yeah, right.
The Cavs are super young. They're promising. I mean, Mitchell's there and he's doing his thing. I hope the Lakers, somehow manage some craziness to get him. But I mean, now we have what Celtics going up against the Pacers, right? So out of that series, I didn't expect that. I wanted the Knicks to go, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah,
we'll get into that game right now. But Celtics stomping on the Cavs. What are they got to do to stop the Pacers?
I have, I got the Celtics also. And for a few reasons, and I think the main one, the biggest contributing one, being that the Celtics they have really good chemistry, and they do have some new players. Obviously, they got some new pieces, but just look at what they've done all season long, man. They've got good communication. They took over the East almost the entire season. A little more than halfway through, there was an obvious spread, and they finished on top. Without much of a challenge. And I think that's for a reason. They again they've got experience together. They've got some pretty good leaders, and even some of these younger guys that really are the stars of that team, they do a good job of running the ship. Like they set their expectations. Not only that, but they've been consistent all season long. So I think I think that's going to be a lot for the Pacers to be able to handle altogether. The Pacers, again, they've got some good players. I think they're going to struggle defensively against the Celtics, and the Celtics, their scoring is, it comes from one place or the other, and they've been doing such a damn good job all year long. Um, so I think there's going to have to be a really big defensive step up by the
Mhm.
Pacers in order to be able to really slow those Celtics down. Just overall.
I think I agree with you, and but I think what the Pacers have going for them is that KP's not going to be there, right? I think he's going to be gone the first two games.
Right.
So I think you go in, you have to take those two games. You have to just to have that advantage. But if he comes back, I don't. I mean Turner maybe, but I don't see anybody stopping him. To be honest with you.
Right.
But yeah, I do have this. I hate to say it just because I hate the Celtics, like I said. But yeah, I have them winning that series, and then I have the Mavs winning the other series. Now the Mavs, I'm sorry, yeah, the Mavs going on the Western side.
Right.
The team that kind of just surprised me all year, bro, and I'm kind of like I was kind of upset when they lost. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the NBA world would agree with me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the New York Knicks.
Right.
Did you expect them to be where they ended up?
No, no. I really didn't either. There was a lot of hype around him. Even last season, just there was I think there was a lot of excitement looking forward for the Knicks,
Yeah.
and changing things up in the off season, doing their thing. But you had some guys really really come out and play amazing basketball. I was very skeptical of Jalen Brunson, and that's just me being real because he did his thing with the Mavs, and I respect what he did, but coming out of there, I just didn't see him really being that guy. And
Same.
I think he proved a lot of us wrong. He led a team of new personalities together. Well, for part of it at least. Some of these guys really did have some experience playing together, but he really was able to help piece it together amongst other players on that roster, and they killed it. They I mean, it might have been a little inconsistent at times, but really being able to piece it together in the end to come out where they did, I didn't see it at all. I really didn't, man.
Well, I'll say this, bro. I think if he doesn't get hurt, I think they might win the game, dude. He has that ability. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if he would have brought him back that game, but I mean, they were at home.
yeah,
So I who knows? Who knows? But I think they definitely would have competed more because I think they lost by
yeah.
like 20 something, right?
Yeah, yeah. And in the end, it was a pretty good ass whooping. It was a 21 point game. It was 130 to 109, I think it was. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I agree with you there. He's a big factor, and maybe like you're saying, he might not have made the difference of that 21 points that they lost by, but he would have done a lot throughout the game to really help narrow that margin down and put them in the game when it comes down to crunch time, and not having him where they needed him. Obviously that injury, that's a huge injury, and on top of all places, having him back in the game, but really it's MSG, man, Madison Square Garden. That's probably
Yeah.
one of the toughest places to win, and in a Game 7 series, I'm sorry, Game 7 of that series, like I think it would have made it even tougher, but.
I mean, it's good
Literally.
to see basketball alive in New York, bro. Like you just see it. We grew up with it, and with Melo, with fucking Hewing, like
Yeah.
it's good to see New York playing good basketball. So,
Yeah.
Raul, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Dude, I have one more question before we leave, and I know hopefully we can cover more of the games throughout the finals here,
Hmm.
but just random question, okay?
Right.
You get to start a franchise with one of these players. Who are you picking? Tatum, Luca, Edwards, or John Morant?
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Like
okay. Yeah. So,
not knowing what we know now, Sion still doesn't have 50 million injuries. so, so it's just rookie. You get to pick one.
gotcha. Now, just to help with context of this, we obviously we're going based off of just what we know of them prior to entering the NBA, correct?
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
All
we're
right.
time machine right here.
Got you. Okay. Well, I mean, that's tough. But kind of looking back on at least as far as what I knew about these dudes, realistically, I think I would take Luca there.
Mhm.
But again, it's because there was a pretty big light around this dude, and there was some info out there, hype about him, coming up into the league, and really seeing it when I started to hear about him a little bit more, not necessarily knowing where he was going to go before he was even picked up. I looked
Mhm.
into him and I was like, okay. And I saw these guys play college ball too. Um, but I was really, really impressed with Luka Doncic, and I think that might have been where it was going. Anthony Edwards is probably a close number two for me.
Mhm.
Um, Again, just kind of going based off of what we knew about him prior to being in the NBA. John Morant was amazing.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That guy was he's special, man. He's a specimen. Um, I just don't know that that's where my mind would go if I had these guys, profiles laid out in front of me, kind of thing. And Jason Tatum, again, another great player. I just, you know, I'm trying to picture it with the way you set it up, and that's not where I would have gone. I really do think I would have gone Luka Doncic.
Yeah, same. And just because he had already pro level experience,
Right.
So I mean, just based on the experience, I think I would go Luca too. Based just on potential, maybe. Did I say Zion? Yeah, right. I put Zion on the list.
No, no, you
No.
said,
Oh,
yeah, it was
Edwards. Yeah,
Luka.
yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. No, yeah, no, yeah. You see, I would go Luca because Anthony Edwards, dude, I didn't expect this from him at
No.
all. I mean, I saw the Hustle movie and I was like, oh, what the hell? Like, I guess he
Right,
is that he's good, but yeah, I didn't expect where he's at right now. And I don't know if
right.
it's the team that elevated him that fast, but yeah, dude, I like the style of play big time. And then Tatum, I mean, he was Kobe prodigy, but yeah, I knew it was gonna take some time too. That's why I didn't want the
Right.
Lakers to pick him at the time because they could have, and now I kind of wish they would have. All right, Raul, dude, thank you for coming on, talking basketball. Finally, somebody I can talk basketball with because everybody's football, bro. Everybody's football.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm one of them guys. I'm all over the place, man. I'm just a sports person, but when it comes down to it, basketball is my number one, just because that's what I've done since I was a kid. That was my first love, and yeah, I mean, whenever you want to spitball, whenever you want to talk it, man, whenever if you need me back on here, yeah, I'm all game for it.
Interview with Raul, man. I had a good time with him, and we should catch us next week. We're gonna talk some more basketball. Hopefully, some other people that I call on make it, and we can make it a little more interactive. So, cool. Now, last and third segment of the show, we're gonna jump into reaction video, something I like to call the scroll. So I'm gonna go down the scroll rabbit hole on social media here, and we're just gonna watch some reaction videos, see what's going on. First one that kind of caught my eye was actually so Terrence Howard to Joe Rogan, and they actually had a discussion. But this one's actually pretty cool, based on
Obviously, Terrence Howard, he's had an awakening of some sort. So hats off to the brother for that. Because first of all, it takes a lot of courage to even come out in such a mass setting like that, on a big stage, on your own platform, and then say, hey, this is why I'm doing this, and this is why I'm stepping back. I think he made even a reference to the fact that, why am I going to perform on stage for tips when I could be tapping into this unlimited source of energy, so to speak, is what he was really trying to say. And he dropped a lot of information in a very short period of time, and may not have been able to exactly articulate specifically what everything he said meant.
I've made some discoveries in my own personal life with the science that, Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue, walking on water for tips when I've got an entire generation to teach a whole new world? Well, let me put it this way. All energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. All waves are curved. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solids? There are no straight lines. So when I took the flower of life and opened it properly, I found a whole new wave conjugations that expose the in-between spaces. It's the thing that holds us all together.
Wondering how the universe really came to be. And I fell in love with this thing called the flower of life. You guys know Da Vinci? Do you know what he spent most of his life trying to figure out? I want you guys to know about a 6,000-year-old secret. 6,000 years, mankind has been trying to decipher this one little thing called the flower of life. Now, this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right? This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been...
Look up Terrence Howard and look up all the stuff he's talking about. It's very, very interesting. It's pretty cool. I recommend it. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay.
Every single person that I went to school with is not using the degrees that they paid for.
What did you go to college for?
Journalism.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
What do you mean?
Like journalism stuff?
You probably don't know my backstory. There are individuals that are going to school that are spending $100,000 for a degree in gender studies.
Yeah, but in general, that's not the cost of a college degree. And in general, college degrees confer huge wage premiums onto the people that earn them. These are
No, they don't. And that is the reason why you have so many young women that are, and this is why, I think that what you actually do here is harmful. You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your catty insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl. Okay. I mean, what do you mean? We all have our things.
But you can be the person that goes to trade school and you will make so much money doing jobs that actually bring value to society.
Computer programmers don't bring value to the society. Mechanical engineers don't bring value to society.
It's unbelievable the way people used to be able to speak and write before we created the Department of Education, which in my view is there just to exist, to turn you into a mindless bot that will serve the government's interests.
I mean, I see both their takes. I mean, yeah, you need teachers, you need people to go to college. And although, I mean, I do agree with it to an extent, I think the college system is prolonged in so many ways, like so many stuff you don't need to take. It's just it's a business. I mean, you also do need that education. I do see both points.
Parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
911 is John. What's the address emergency?
Hi, there is an emergency. I found something in my son's closet wrapped in a plastic bag.
Okay, what was it?
I think it's a human head.
It's a what?
I think it's a human head.
On March 1st, 2021, police at Grand Junction, Colorado received this chilling 911 call. A mother has just discovered a disturbing secret hidden within her son's closet. Even more terrifying, he's currently just outside the house while she makes this call for help.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like it's all an ear.
Is it bloody or does it like anything like that?
Just tell you to come. Do I have to take a picture and send it to you?
What's the address?
The dispatcher tries to get as much information as possible to make sense of this shocking call and give officers an idea of what they might be walking into.
Is your son there now?
He just pulled up. We wanted to make sure he was here before we called.
How old is he?
19.
Despite the horrifying nature of this call, police could not have anticipated the twisted tale of violence they were about to embark on. Nor did they have any idea just how shocking the motive behind the inexplicable horror would be. Deputies from the Mesa County Sheriff's Office arrive at Brian's address, wisely leaving their sirens off as they approach. This could have frightened the young suspect, and it's important to keep him calm for the initial interaction.
What's going on, man?
The deputy makes contact with Brian using a friendly, disarming greeting, which goes further to establish an atmosphere of calm.
Cooperate. I am going to cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Do you have anything on you he's gonna cut, poke, hurt, stick me anything without reaching for nothing? Don't reach for nothing.
My phone and my wallet, that's
okay.
it.
Well, I'm gonna have you face that way. Put your hands on top of your head for me real quick. I just want to make sure you interlace your fingers for me real quick, all right?
Annie, stay with your mother. Give her
Just make sure that guy goes in the car first.
I can take it. You can go in the safe, right?
Well, yeah,
Safe
okay.
right there. No, you can understand.
Yeah.
House is empty.
Okay.
I had a bad feeling about what happened this weekend.
Okay.
She said there's a bag in this closet, and she opened it up, and she called me and said, "Get over here right now."
The deputy correctly asks for permission to enter the house so that he can confirm the grim contents of the kitchen sink.
I covered it with the towel.
Okay.
I didn't want him to see it. We didn't want him to run. I don't want to look at it.
Wow, so that's pretty intense, man. I thought they were gonna show it. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, you don't know who the people around you. I mean, not even their parents didn't even know, you know. Just keep a lookout for people, I guess. It's a sick world full of sick people. So I think that's all I got for you guys today. I mean, we can go into reaction videos more, but then we'll just scroll on forever. So thank you for watching. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think. That guy that just, they find someone's head in his house. Like, that's crazy. What would you do if you found something like that? Your brother, your mom, your dad is a secret serial killer, Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.